2025 has been an interesting time for music, with a lot of new releases dominating streaming platforms. In this video, we'll look at the top 10 most streamed albums of 2025 so far on Spotify. Some Sexy Songs for You by Party Next Door and Drake. Some Sexy Songs for You, a collab album by Canadian artists Party Next Door and Drake, was released on Valentine's Day 2025 and became one of the year's most streamed albums. After losing the beef that dominated last year and suing his record label, many thought Drake wouldn't be able to come back this soon. But the 21-track project debuted on number 1 on the Billboard 200, earning 246,000 album equivalent units in its first week, with the largest streaming week for any album in 2025 at the time. A smooth R&B and hip-hop blend slowly started to gain steam as the year went on, with all 21 tracks charting on the Billboard Hot 100, including 2 in the top 10. Some Sexy Songs for You has cemented Drake's record-breaking Hot 100 stats, including 80 top 10 hits. The album's success was initially driven by songs like Die Trying, Give Me a Hug, and CN Tower, getting respectable streams. But the clear hit from the album is Nokia, slowly gaining popularity and peaking on number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. It is now sitting on 246 million streams on Spotify. For the first half of the year, the album has been consistently growing. At the Beach in Every Life by Gigi Perez. Gigi Perez's At the Beach in Every Life, released in 2025, has taken the streaming world by storm, amassing over 1.2 billion streams on Spotify. The album's introspective storytelling has resonated deeply with Gen Z. The album owes its success to one app, TikTok. The breakout hit from the project was Sailor Song, which has now accumulated more than 1 billion streams on Spotify and peaked at number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100. It is one of the biggest songs of the year, reaching the billion club on Spotify in less than a year. His minimalist approach with stripped-down arrangements has made it a hit. The streaming numbers from the other songs on the album are not remotely close to Sailor Song, with the next song being Fable with less than 100 million streams, and after that, Please Be Rude with less than 50 million streams. At the Beach in Every Life is the breakout album for a new artist, but it is being carried by one streaming juggernaut. Music by Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti's long-awaited third studio album, Music, was finally released on March 14, 2025. The album achieved a staggering 139 million streams in a single day, becoming instantly successful because of all the hype. It was the follow-up to the cult classic Whole Lotta Red after a 5-year break, and on its first day on Spotify, it became the biggest debut of 2025 and the 7th largest streaming debut in Spotify history. As the week ended, its long track list had accumulated a lot of streams, surpassing 490 million streams in its first week alone. It secured the 8th spot on the list of the most streamed albums in a single week ever. The success of the album can be attributed to Carti's strategic rollout, or lack thereof. He was on a generational run before the album, even landing a number 1 song after being featured on Kanye West's Carnival, and his collaboration with Travis Scott Fiend became a streaming juggernaut. The album featured high-profile collaborations like Rather Lie with The Weeknd, which peaked at number 4 and dominated all music conversations that week. Even though it has resonated with his fans, it has lost steam in the mainstream, as none of the songs seem to have caught on as expected. The biggest song from the album is Evil Jordan, accumulating 130 million streams on Spotify, with Rather Lie not far behind, with 128 million streams. Beyond the numbers, Music has made a big impact in the rap landscape of 2025, but we'll have to see if it will become one of the defining albums of the year. Ruby by Jennie. Jennie, a member of the global K-pop sensation Blackpink, has gone solo and took the world by storm with her debut album Ruby, released on March 7, 2025. The album quickly gained attention, debuting at number 7 on the Billboard 200 with 56,000 album equivalent units sold, including 26,000 pure album sales. In South Korea, Ruby sold 660,000 units in its first week, marking the highest first week sales for a K-pop female soloist in 2025. Jennie has been building her career in the last few years, even acting on The Idol, which got her featured on the huge hit from the show One of the Girls. For the album, The lead single Mantra was released in October 2025 and has now accumulated 339 million streams on Spotify. Then she followed it up with Extra L featuring Doechii, which managed to enter the Billboard Hot 100 at number 75. The latest hit from the album is Like Jenny, which managed to peak at number 5 on the Billboard Global 200 and has now accumulated 274 million streams on Spotify in just 2 months. The Blackpink members are all getting success in their solo careers as they capitalize on their established fan base. As Jennie continues to promote Ruby, it should end 2025 as one of the biggest albums of the year. Mi Vida Mi Muerte by Neton Vega. Neton Vega's debut album Mi Vida Mi Muerte, released on February 14, 2025, made him a rising star in Mexican music, particularly within the corridos tumbados subgenre. The 21-track project is a blend of traditional sounds and modern influences like hip-hop and reggaeton. The album's streaming dominance was underscored by his debut performance, earning 26,000 equivalent album units in his first week, with 38.3 million official on-demand streams for his songs alone. The album had star-studded collaborations and genre experimentation, featuring heavyweights like Peso Pluma and Morena, leveraging the popularity of established corridos tumbados artists. Loco is the biggest song on the album, accumulating 355 million streams on Spotify and peaking at number 24 on the Billboard Global 200. Morena also became a hit, as it is now close to 200 million streams on Spotify. Mi Vida Mi Muerte's streaming success reflects broader trends in Latin music, which has now pivoted to a mix of reggaeton and that regional Mexican sound. Alter Ego by Lisa. Lisa's Alter Ego, released on February 28, 2025, was her debut solo studio album. As a member of Blackpink, she already had a massive fan base with over 106 million followers on Instagram. Her previous solo work, like her 2021 single La Lisa, which debuted at number 84 on the Billboard Hot 100, and Money, which hit number 35, were decent hits. But this was the year that she truly broke through. She even starred on the new season of The White Lotus, which raised her profile even more. The lead single Rockstar became the biggest hit on the album, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Global 200. And now sitting on 400 million streams on Spotify. The next big hit was New Woman with Rosalia, which peaked at number 15 on the Global 200, accumulating 313 million streams on Spotify. The next single, Moonlit Floor, also reached 300 million streams on Spotify. Lisa is finally having her moment this year, dropping one of the biggest albums so far. So Close to What by Tate McRae. Tate McRae's So Close to What, released on February 21, 2025, has cemented her as a pop powerhouse. It is her third studio album and it debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, with over 177,000 album equivalent units sold in its first week, and became her first chart topper. It got 137 million on-demand song streams in its first week, and set a personal record for Tate, surpassing her 2023 album Think Later, which peaked at number 4. The lead single It's Okay I'm Okay was a decent hit, debuting at number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100, and now sitting on 290 million streams on Spotify. At this moment, the biggest streaming hit from the album is Sports Car, which has now reached 319 million streams on Spotify. Other songs on the album like Two Hands and Revolving Door also got more than 100 million streams. The album's Y2K inspired vibe, drawing comparisons to Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, made it nostalgic and fun. She also started the Miss Possessive tour in March 2025 with guests like Zara Larsson and Benny, that has amplified the album's reach. The music videos also played a huge part, with all the visuals being carefully curated. Tate McRae's new album continues to resonate as she is becoming the leader for the new generation of pop stars. Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. The Weeknd's Hurry Up Tomorrow, released on January 31, 2025, marks the final chapter of a trilogy that began with 2020's After Hours and continued with 2022's Dawn FM. His sixth studio album was announced as his last project under the name The Weeknd. The album's opening week alone garnered 300 million streams on Spotify, surpassing his previous career high set by After Hours. His debut on the Billboard 200 was monumental, moving 490,000 album equivalent units sold in its first week, the largest debut of 2025. Songs like Dancing in the Flames, which hit number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100 in Sao Paulo, a Brazilian funk-infused collaboration with Anitta, preceded the album, but the lead single was Timeless featuring Playboi Carti. It was the breakout hit, accumulating 850 million streams on Spotify and peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. An accompanying film for the album, starring Jenna Ortega and Barry Keoghan, was released weeks later, but it has horrible reviews, getting a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics have praised the album's blend of eerie synth pops and innovative production, calling it a fitting farewell for The Weeknd's persona, but it is not having the lasting impact I thought it would. Mayhem by Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's Mayhem, released on March 7, 2025, was a triumphant return for a pop legend, described by Gaga herself as authentic chaos. The album channels influences from 80s pop while maintaining her signature style. The album's lead single Disease set the tone and did decent. Her chart-topping duet with Bruno Mars, Die With A Smile, became a global anthem, holding the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 for multiple weeks. It is now sitting on an astonishing 2.4 billion streams on Spotify in a matter of months. By May of 2025, Mayhem had amassed 3.5 billion streams on Spotify, making it one of the year's most streamed albums, and cementing Gaga's status as a pop culture phenomenon, managing to reach 115 million monthly Spotify listeners. Abracadabra followed as the second single, reaching number 5 on the Billboard Global 200, and now sitting on 370 million streams on Spotify. Beyond the numbers, Mayhem represents a cultural moment for Gaga, bringing her back to the pinnacle of pop music. Debarmas Photos by Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's Debarmas Photos, released on January 5, 2025, is a love letter to Puerto Rican culture, blending modern reggaeton and synth-driven beats. The 17-track album, which debuted at number 1 on Billboard's top streaming albums chart with 152 million on-demand streams in its first 5 days. It became the 4th most streamed album in a single week ever, accumulating 579 million Spotify streams in its debut week. His lead single, DTMF, broke records, with 14 million streams in a single day on Spotify, and has now accumulated 750 million streams. In fact, the top 4 most streamed songs that were released this year are all from this album. The album's streaming dominance is a testament to Bad Bunny's global influence. Launched on an off-cycle Sunday, it debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 with 122,000 units in its first week. By its second week, it climbed to number 1 with 230,000 units sold. It only grew in popularity as time went on, going on to top the charts for 4 weeks, and it is still on top at this moment. Bad Bunny's Tiny Desk concert, showcasing the album's traditional influences, further amplified its reach. Debarmas Photos is more than a commercial juggernaut. It's a cultural milestone that bridges generations. It is also a testament to Bad Bunny's ability to redefine Latin music's global impact. Which album released this year is your favorite? Tell me in the comments below.